And there we go, live on YouTube. Zulma Gonzalez, this mic is all yours.
That was hilarious. Put that in your peace pipe and smoke it. Hey, family. Thankful Thursday to each and every only one of us. I'm in motion. I was at home, but I'm in motion. I decided to get in the shower at 20 minutes to 9 Eastern time. I'm on Eastern time here. And and uh and then thought, well, while I'm here, well, how about if I just wash my hair? Okay, so that was a process. And then I thought, oh wait, I haven't fed Lovable yet. So I had to go feed my doggy, who had 3 episodes last Sunday. Um, and so it is. Uh, the medicine is designed to help, but not totally prevent. And I have to keep remembering that. Anyway, um, I I thought I had an agenda. Well, I do, but I don't. Um, I don't. I just want to talk about relationships today. I was listening to what Sharon and Lori were saying when I first came on, and uh, Sharon said something that it's funny because I thought it before she said it, that we feel bad when people are leaving the planet, physically leaving the planet, but we would have to spend. I'll speak first person. I would have to spend my time feeling bad all the time because um, somebody's leaving the planet all the time. Every moment, somebody's leaving the planet. But by the same token, the good thing about being able to see something differently and being able to see things in a peaceful way, someone is also coming onto the planet. Bodies come, bodies go. And I've thought about that. I've thought about that very thing. So I want to talk about relationships today. Um, I'm still pulling it together here. A pair of glasses would help so I can see. I don't really have any slides today. At least, no, I don't. Um, but at the very least, I'm going to switch YouTube, devices, and I'm going to go onto the computer so I don't have to keep holding my phone. Um, Here we go. I don't think I've ever come here wet-head. I don't think I've ever come on here as a wet-head, but and so it is. Okay, all right. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so let me say good morning. Hi to Karen and Regis and Lynn and Bob. I saw your message, Bob, and Lori and Dove and Sharon and who's ever on the iPhone and Mickey and Glory and everyone. Katia, if you're out there listening. Um, and my love to each and every only one of us. My love to each and every only one of us. Uh, so it's been an interesting week. I want to talk about relationships today, primarily because I am in the midst of something that I didn't said I wasn't going to talk about, and I'm gonna put pieces of it in here. Um, but first, let's look at this for what it really is. This is A Course in Miracles meets Science of Mind and other metaphysical teachings. We're here to talk about the oneness of it all. Period. The oneness of it all. That's all there is, and that's all we've got. And if we try to make it anything other than that, then we confuse ourselves. Um, I was looking at workbook lesson 70, one of my favorites. 70, 71, and 72 are three of my favorite lessons, and I am going to pull them up. I still haven't figured out how to connect my second monitor to this computer. So this is where we are. I have my book in my hand, and I have, or I can switch screens, whatever. Anyway. Um, I really, I actually forgot that I had to feed the dog, so I had to stop everything. Yes, lovable. Yes, dear. Yes. Um, I stopped everything. It was 9:22 when I went to feed Lovable. So I'm like, oh, oh, oh. I didn't put any slides up for today or anything like that. So we will go with what we already know. Um, and that is right from the beginning that every response we make is determined by what we think we are. Every response we make is determined by what we think we are, and what we want to be is what we think we are. That's that part of that quote. It always catches me. It always catches me that what I want to be, which is technically future based, but there is no future. That's why what I want to be is what I think I am. And that's all right here and right now because there's only now. There's only now. So basically it's bringing the past and the present together. Um yes, Bob, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I had it before, but I got a new hard drive. I got a new hard drive, and so I don't have that monitor connection. And I was looking in settings, and I'm not seeing. I just don't remember. Yes, lovable. I think he wants to go out. I'm not taking him out now. Let's see what happens. Say hi to everyone. Say hi. Say hi. There we go. There we go. Anyway, um,
Oh, so sweet.
baby boy. Yeah, that's a baby boy. Say hi. Say hi. Say I've been coming here. Say he's been coming here now for almost 3 years. Wow, since the day he found me, right, lovable? Yeah, there we go. Um, he's such a baby. He is such a. He runs the show here. He and I are going to. Oh, Lena won't be here next Thursday. He and I are driving to Virginia next Thursday. Well, I'll be driving. He's gonna be my passenger. We're going to Virginia to hang out with my niece and my nephew-in-law and my great nephew. We're going to a jazz concert. Anybody like Pat Metheny, he's going to be there. It'll only cost $65 to see him there, and it would cost $159 if I see him in September here. Even with tolls, it doesn't come to that much. But anyway, but yeah, Lovell and I were going to take our second. He's going to be on his second long distance trip. The first one was to New York. He's been to Central Park and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, baby boy. All right. Anyway, so um, so yeah, every response every response I make is determined by what I think I am. And the question is always, what am I? What do I think I am? What do I think I am? Because I know that I'm spirit. And that whole thing, when you know better, you do better, doesn't always apply. Because sometimes it's like I go into that sleep of forgetfulness. And that sleep of forgetfulness, the Course says, is an unwillingness to remember, just not willing to remember. And that willingness is so key. It is absolutely so key. So every response I make is determined by what I think I am. And what I want to be is what I think I am. And what I want to be then must determine every response I make. I will put the quotes on the slide to get something going here. Let's see, slideshow from current slide. And that's not the current slide, is it? Where'd it go? Everything disappeared. Let's stop this. Let's stop this and let's figure out what the heck happened. Um, yeah, this slideshow from current slide. My slides are doing what they want to do. So I am going to just read. I'm just going to read. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's not it either. Yeah, okay, all right. I think I got it. I think I got it. Um, it's one of those days, folks, and I'm not even going to try to uh I'm not even going to try to pretend that I got it all together because I don't. I don't know if no, you can't see that, can you? What the heck is happening here? Go back to Zoom.
Go back to share and hit at the window. All right, you see it. Now, if I hit from current slide, there we are. I should daily train my thoughts to recognize the spirit. Daily train my thought. And this is, reminding, it's all about, I like the way Sharon said it, self-growth. It's about self-growth. They call it they used to call it self-help and all that. Which it is, I can only help myself. And to think that I can help someone else, in that sense of I know but you don't, is truly a mistake. Truly a mistake. There's a passage in the course, and I just came across it again, that to analyze the motives of others is hazardous to you. Analyzing the motives of others is hazardous to me. Anyway, I should daily train my thought to recognize the spirit in everything I do, say, or think, because to learn how to think is indeed to learn how to live. We naturally become master over all life when we can understand and master the process of thinking. It's only ourselves that we can, it's only ourselves. We were raised to think that we had control over other people. I can speak for myself. I can control your feelings. I can control your life. I can, just listen to me. I know I've got the answer. Keep the word of God alive in your mind, in your thought, and in your experience. If I keep the word of God alive in my mind, then I'm not focusing on, what I think. I'm not using all my experiences as the answer to anybody's anything. It's just focusing on the spirit and recognizing that principle, as Thomas Troward said, is not bound by precedent, that the truth is not bound. The truth now is not bound by the past. It's not bound by the yesterdays. That what I perceived as truth yesterday was not necessarily the truth. What I thought yesterday as a thought yesterday, and it's not a thought today. My thoughts come, my thoughts go. And when I think that I should stand firm by a particular thought, because you said such and such, and therefore such and such, and that's the way it is, and that's when the mistake that really comes in. That's when I decide to give up my peace. I give up my peace when I think that that I know but you don't. This is a course in mind training. These are all courses in mind training. These are all teachings in mind training, because we're asked from the Bible to let this mind be in you that was in the Christ, that was in Jesus. Let this mind be in you. And in so doing, we become of one mind. There is only that one mind, and we all draw from it. We're all unique expressions of it, unique emanations of it, but it's all simply the one. And when I go into me versus you, uh, then I've already chosen to give up my peace. I've chosen to give up peace, or to perceive myself as having given up peace, because I'm looking outside instead of looking in. And I'm looking outside to make you wrong and me right. And therein does not lie the peace of God. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. This study is necessary. The study is necessary, not just of A Course in Miracles, but anything, in my opinion, that 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 brings the connection of spirit to me, of me to spirit, the oneness, to recognize that I am one with it, that it is one with me. Period. 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 So I was looking at something that Ernest Holmes wrote. He said, "We cannot be in peace until we know that the spirit, capital S, is the only cause, medium, and effect in our lives. There is no past, present, and future in it. Evil has no history and has never entered in to be the being or the experience of reality. The mind must come to know and to realize all these truths if it is to have real and lasting peace. Is that really the one I wanted? Yeah, I guess it is. And then um, from the workbook lesson 70, it basically says that the source of healing is where the healing lies. The source is always where the healing lies. I keep thinking that I have a problem, and I keep thinking that I can solve the problem with the same mind that I made the problem. See, I auto-correct it. I create nothing. I make things, and what can be made can be unmade, and that's a good thing. What can be learned can be unlearned, and that's a good thing. So I'll make a problem. You're comfortable, aren't you? I wish I could take a picture of him so you could see how he's sitting on my lap like a baby. I'm just as comfortable, little, just just very comfortable. You're good, huh? Um, I I uh I make a problem, or I look at something and I see a problem. I see obstacles. I see barriers. I see things holding me back. I think, oh, I can't do that, or um, I'm too tired, or something is wrong, or just all these constant mm, uh, impressions that I have no power, that I'm powerless. Um, and all my misery comes from that. The other course says that, all my misery comes from the belief that I'm powerless. But but that's impossible. It's impossible that I be powerless. I am my own understanding of God. I am what God is. I am one. I and the Father are one. The Father and I are one. I live in God. God lives in me. That's just an all the time continual relationship. So for me to say, I'm tired. Okay, wait a minute. For me to say that I'm tired is to say God is tired. For me to say I can't is to say that God can't. Wow. How dare I? Go ahead, Karen. How my love?
Hello, my darling. Yeah, so the quote that you just shared always reminds me of Dove. Do you not see? I can't say it like Dove, but he says, "Do you not see that all your misery comes from your strange belief, your strange belief that you are powerless?" Well, I was reading, I've been talking about this all morning, and chapter 9, section 1 is such a good section, the acceptance of reality. And the very first sentence in that chapter, in that section, he says, fear of the will of God is one of the strangest beliefs the human mind has ever made. So that fear of the will of God is God's will is thought. So we are all a thought in the mind of God. So we are the will of God. God's will is that you are his son. And this whole section talks about exactly what this whole course, I mean, he keeps repeating himself over and over in every section, but this section really brings it out, man. He's like really talking about what you're saying. And he says the purpose of this course is to help you remember what you are. And if you believe that what you are is fearful, then it must follow that you will not learn this course. So he's reminding us exactly what you're saying, that the truth of what we are can never be touched. Nothing can ever change it except for our belief. And it's one of the strangest beliefs. So I just had to share that. Thanks.
He elevated the strange, yeah, right. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But that's absolutely true. How mm, if I'm fearing God's will, I'm fearing myself. I am God's will. That's what you just said, Karen. I am God's will. And to think that and to think anything differently is fearful. That's what creates fear. And fear is a made up, we know. Fear is me believing in what I don't want. Fear is faith in the negative. Fear is faith in duality. That's what fear is. It's having faith in duality, and it's not possible. There can be no other. No other what? There's only. Hmm. I take a breath. You're looking at me like that for. I wish you could see this whole thing. He's looking at. I wouldn't see him because I have the background on. You can't. He's looking at me like I'm strange. I am strange. Yeah. Um. There's only the belief that there is something other than anything is the mistake in the first place. I take a breath. I've thought about that one. And then instinctively I'm going to take another breath, and we're all breathing the same air. How about that? We're all breathing the same air. Mine may be contained in this house, and yours may be contained in your space at the moment. But COVID proved that to be like, no, no, that doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Um, the oneness of it all, the stars, the moon, the sun, lovable. This computer, me, you, unique emanations, oak tree, willow tree, unique emanations, but it's all coming from the same source. And I marvel. I'm trying to stay first person, but I know that some of you feel that way too. I know it. I know it. Or think that way too. I marvel at the stars, and I marvel at sunrise. I marvel at the beauty of sunrise and the beauty of sunset. And Ernest Holmes said that we look too far for reality. We're looking too far for reality. We're looking out there. We're looking for something out there to save us. This is where Workbook Lesson 70 comes in, and I'm going to go to that. Um, we're looking for something out there, and there is no out there. Dr. Ernest wrote that I said we look too far for reality, and he said that what we're looking for, we are looking with and looking at. I'm looking for something out there to save me. Oh, let me see. Bob wrote something in the chat. Let's see. What'd you say, Bob? What'd you say? There's a couple things in the chat. Hold on here. Oh, I can't wait to get this monitor fixed. This is crazy. We are of one will. Being in fear of our will is insanity. Yes. In our birth, we said, I will. Yeah. In our birth, we said, I will. Yeah, right. Yeah, I said, my will be done. Didn't even know what my will was, right? Just messed it all up, thinking that I have it. I know. I know. I know. Um, we live in a sea of synchronicity within an ocean of love. Yes. I just read something like that. There's a quote about being immersed in a sea of love. That's a quote from somewhere else. But anyway, I just heard it yesterday morning. Um, and there it is. Do you not see that all your misery comes from the strange belief that we are powerless? All right. And Bob wrote, I'm sitting here trying to scroll, and I'm not, this isn't working very well for me. Someone once asked for directions to Carnegie Hall. Here it is. I love this. The answer was simple and profound. Practice, practice, practice. How to get the Carnegie Hall, right? The course is no different. Mastery only requires practice, consistency, and willingness. Practice, consistency, and willingness. The willingness, of course, has to come first, but the practice and consistency, it's necessary. Yeah, I can, just because I made it work today, just because it worked today. The dishes in the sink. I washed them, put them away. Why not? Put them in the drain, whatever. And if I use the dish again, it's not going to automatically clean itself. Consistency, consistency. It has to, it's a do-over. We get do-overs in this physical on this physical plane. We get do-overs. And we have to keep being willing to do it again and again and again. Every response, decisions are continuous. It's not like, oh, I decided to wash the plate and it's going to stay clean. I wish, but it's not, it doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't happen that way. It's that consistency, being willing to see it differently, being willing to, that's so key. Being willing to see things differently. I had a disagreement with someone I love very much. And I called someone and told them, I want you to take the opposing point of view. Do not take my point of view. And I was able to see where I could have handled that differently. I also see, though, from the comments that were sent to me, that the individual was analyzing my motives, because I understand that at the time that the disagreement was taking place, I was misunderstanding certain gestures. There was a gesture where I was looked at and I thought it meant to keep talking, but in fact, they didn't want me to keep talking. They wanted me to stop, but they didn't say that. And anyway, I'm not going into the details, but the only way that this is going to be resolved is if we are both willing to start from a clean slate and be able to express, this is how I saw it, this is how you saw it, and here's where we thought we were seeing the same thing, but we weren't. And are we willing to do that and then let go? And and all I can do at this point is wait for a response, because I've not received a response to let's talk about this. And it takes two. I understand that it takes two. I'm going to be here in my corner, loving no matter what, regardless of where the relationship goes. I believe they were talking about change before I got here. Change it's inevitable. Change, relationships. Oh no, that was a conversation I was having this morning. Relationships, they change. They do, and they're supposed to. And we don't ever know what anything is for. I'll stop talking. Go ahead, Marlene.
All right, my dear. I just wanted to comment, actually was just hit hard with this idea as you were speaking about this conversation with the friend. And I realized you're still having that conversation with the friend. You have never stopped. It's going on in your mind. You have the questions, you have the answers, you know what you want to say, you know what you think they're going to say. It's all going on where? In your mind. It's not going on anywhere else. And the beauty of practicing forgiveness, the way that Jesus has given us in the Course of Miracles, is we can just look at that and say, oh, gee, I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace right now. And I can choose again. And you can choose again right now. And in this very instant, that conversation will be resolved. And you may never hear from that person about this. They may forget completely about this if you are willing to forget about it yourself. Um, because it's not going to, it all that's happening is it's continuing. It's probably continuing in their mind as well. It only takes one to forgive the situation, and the other, it just comes naturally. And so I'm just going to suggest that we do that, not continue the conversation in our mind and our thinking, not come up with new and better. Oh, I could explain it to them this way, and maybe I could have said this, and maybe I could get out of that. That is not where we want to be. We want to be in a place where the past is over, is done, and all we have now is now. And in this now, there is no argument. And I'm just going to suggest try that out. See if letting it go, and then do not expect that they're going to come back with more questions or more answers. Do not expect that anything is going to happen other than the whole thing is over. And when it's over in my mind, it's over. I've had it happen many, many, many times where the person, maybe you might say something about what was said the other day, and they're like, "What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about," because it's over, it's done, it's been forgiven. Anyway, those are the thoughts that I had about that. And yeah, obviously do how you feel, but if you're sitting here waiting for and expecting some kind of response from them, you're still carrying on the argument. And when you let go of it, it will be gone. Anyway, thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, thank you. I'm I actually said all of that. I was coming to that part. um, I see your hand, Karen. Wait a minute. Um, I had made a decision. I had made a decision to talk it out with someone because I wanted to hear another way. I wanted to hear not my way. And when that happened, and then I was able to see that, and I got calmer. I got calmer. Um, what happened was that there was a communication that there would be a conversation. Um, and then as you know, as the days have passed, I really am calmer about it. I was just talking about it because the passage from the course about analyzing the motives of another came came to me this morning because one of the messages that I was sent, it said something to the effect that, it said you is what it said, pointing at me, and 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 it ended with, and I stand by that. And this is what the reason why I'm calmer about it is because I understand, which is, that as long as, which is the point I was really making, as long as they are willing to only see it one way, it can never nothing can be resolved as long as I'm willing to see things just one way. As long as anyone is willing to see things just one way, nothing can be resolved because I will always see I, we, she, the, we, whoever will always see me versus as opposed to me and I was coming to that. I was actually coming to that. Go ahead, Karen, but thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Zulma, for that story. That reminds me of the story of the two monks, the junior monk and the senior monk. Have you guys ever heard it? Yeah, right? So the junior monk and the senior monk were traveling together, and then they came to this river with a strong current. And as they were preparing to cross, they saw a young woman who was afraid to cross the river. And so the junior monk just kept walking because he knew that it was against the vow of chastity. They weren't supposed to even look at a woman. And the senior monk picked her up and carried her across the river. So the younger monk couldn't believe that he did that, and he started, after a while they were halfway down the path. I'm paraphrasing this story, but I'm making it short and sweet. Halfway down the path, and it was burning him up. It was burning this young monk up, and he looked at him. He said, "I can't believe you carried this woman across the river. You know we have a vow of chastity." And he looked at him and he said, "Are you still carrying that woman across the river? In other words, are you still carrying that burden?" And I made the mistake of telling my uncle that story. So whenever I have a grievance that I talk about and I say something, he says, "Are you still carrying that woman across the water?" So I can't get away with the grievance anymore when I'm around him. It's so funny. But yeah, it's what we do. Thanks.
Thanks, Karen. Um, yeah. So, um, frankly, in part, the reason why I brought this up is because I didn't have a topic for today. I said, well, you know what? Let's talk about relationships. I didn't really, like I said, at 9:22, I had to feed the dog. Um, and so that's that. But I would like then to look at workbook lesson 70 because I really, really enjoy that lesson. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I can put it on the screen. I think I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. So yeah, I'll say this, and for me to say what I'm about to say means a lot. I haven't lost any sleep over it. That means a lot. That means an absolute lot. I mean, I literally laid down in peace. I've been in peace every day. Um, it says workbook lesson 71. That's not the one I want. I want yesterday's lesson. Okay, let me go back to Zoom. Yeah, for me to I've been on a peace walk, like uh for Lent. Well, whatever. My intention is not to criticize, complain, or judge. And I was telling I'm at the Department of Motor Vehicles yesterday, telling a woman this yesterday. And because she was huffing about, any if you know about going to the Department of Motor Vehicles, I mean, I went with patience because I knew I was going to be a while. I took something to read. I expected to be there a while, and wasn't there as long as I thought. But of course, infinite patience produces immediate results, right? Um, so it really didn't take as long as I thought as I thought based on the number of people that I saw, but they had different people, taking care of the people. Anyway, um, so there's this woman who was asking a person questions, and the woman that was sitting next to me was starting to get upset about it because she felt like this woman was preventing um, the next person up to go. And she's huffing. And then she said, "Ah, lady, you need to sit down." Now, she didn't say it loud enough for the woman to hear. She said it loud enough for me to hear. Well, the woman, you need to sit down because, you're holding people up. And I was laughing. I thought, and I immediately I thought about the course about, that, you know, egos don't agree. There's no, I could not agree with this woman because I wasn't in the space to where she was. And I said, wow, whatever she's asking, I said, she really, she must not know what's going on here because she seems to be asking quite a few questions. And immediately, the woman, she looked at me and you can see her face soften. She said, yeah, that's true. And we went on with that. And I said, and eventually I was like, it's a darn thing. I said, we come into places like this expecting that things are going to hurry up. And we know good and well that we have to be patient. I'm speaking for myself anyway. I said, I knew good and well I had to be patient when I got here. Yeah, that's true. And then she heard something that the woman was saying to the teller. And it had to do with, getting on a plane. And she heard her and she said, oh, she's going to fly. And I said, I guess she needs to make sure that all of her travel materials are right. Yeah, I can understand her ask. I mean, I'm telling you, the whole thing, it just changed. It was amazing. So you talk about a miracle in motion. You could just see it. It was wonderful. And then I started smiling, and I thought, oh, truly helpful. That really was truly helpful. Um, because you never know, a person, they may not, wherever they are, but she was ready. She was ready to be calm. She was ready to be calm because she was working herself up. Oh, she was working herself up based on this woman. And I just, I started gently, we were talking about how we want to give them the poison, hope we take the poison hoping they'll die and all that. We just had a good laugh about that. We had a really good laugh. I see a head and can't see a body to go with it. Hello, 007. 007. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. So I wanted to look at workbook lesson 70 because I like this lesson. This was yesterday's lesson, which states, my salvation comes from me. First sentence, all temptation is nothing more than some form of the basic temptation not to believe the idea for today. Salvation seems to come from anywhere except you. Save me. You can save me. Can't live if living is without you. Oh, I remember Scott Grace. I don't know. You know Scott Grace, the singer. He sings. He makes up songs on the spot. He's really wonderful at that. He had a song called "Codependent Love Songs," and if you haven't heard it, go find it. It's hilarious. It's called Another Codependent Love Song. It's wonderful. Anyway, salvation seems to come from anywhere except you, and so too does the source of guilt. You see neither guilt nor salvation as in your own mind and nowhere else. Of course, you're guilty. I'm not guilty. It's not in my mind. It's you. It's you. You're guilty. I'm innocent because I'm the victim of the world I see. No, not, not. When you realize that all guilt is solely an invention of your mind, all guilt is solely an invention of your mind, you also realize that guilt and salvation must be in the same place. In understanding this, you are saved. I'm going to drop the screen for a minute. The same thing applies to fear and faith. In the Bible is written that faith is the evidence of things not seen. That it's the substance. Faith is the substance of hope. And it's the evidence of things not seen. Fear is also the evidence of things not seen. Oh, let's go back for a second. Gloria had written a while back that only God's plan for salvation will work. I saw that, Gloria, and I read it. I took it in, but I didn't read it aloud. That only God's plan for salvation will work. Now I can't find it, right? I don't know why I'm having a difficulty with this. Trying to
Well,
scroll.
basically,
My,
it's just says, where should I go? What should I do? What should I say and to whom? Just giving it all the time and just allowing ourselves to be led because we really don't know. And when we come to that realization that I really don't know, I can't fix anything. I don't even want to try and just rest and just continuously ask spirit and have that, as our constant communication link with that higher mind. That's the healing. Thanks so much.
yes, thank you. Thank you. So life is just one big question. I don't I don't have to I don't little I don't it's one big question. So now what? And now what? And now what? It's one wonderful adventure. And now what? Just put the GPS on the God protection system. Just put it on, and now what? I don't know. I don't know. I want to be shown, and I want to do it in peace. I want to be shown. I want the peace of God. I am the peace of God. I want to be there. I want to mm, mm. I'm being shown all the time. I'm being shown. And I really am losing no sleep. I'm sleeping maybe a little too much. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm loving it. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, thank you, Gloria, and thank you, Zulma. Yeah, I love what you shared when you said, well, I love this lesson too. I love, love, love this lesson. And when you said, you're the guilty one, I'm the innocent one, that's a big teaching of Ken Wapnick's. He calls it the ego's twofold goal. I exist, but it's not my fault. And Sharon shared something that kind of triggered me in a way. Not, and it's nothing against Sharon. It just triggered me because it's something, I'll tell you why. So Sharon shared how her ex-husband would videotape her when she was acting crazy. And exactly what we're talking about here, because he wanted to make her look like the bad guy and he wanted to look good. And my daughter's boyfriend used to do that to her. And I used to get so upset when he did that. And he would send me, of all people, the video. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and so for that, to do that to anyone, to me, is the person is exactly what you're saying. I can't blame today. And you talked about that too. I can't blame anyone today. I know you learned that from your mother. I learned that from my husband. I was my greatest teacher. Your mother was your greatest teacher in that respect. I am responsible. I am the decision-making mind. I am responsible for which teacher I'm listening to. I can't blame anyone. And to videotape someone and then exploit it like that to make yourself look better, that just so triggered me. And I'm just so grateful that I don't react like I used to. I am reacting now because I'm getting it out and saying it because it's on, we're talking about it. I wouldn't, like before, I would totally react. Before I would totally, you don't even want to know, but not anymore. Today, this is her script. This is her story. Has nothing to do with me. So all I can do is heal my own mind, and that's all I can do, and be there for her when she needs me. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's interesting that, the person who's doing the recording or whatever, that person, it's the way they're seeing life. It's, that's their call for love as they're trying to point out someone else's. Hi, McKaylee times two. I see you and your picture. Hi, McKaylee times two. I love it. All right, Gloria, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for that, Sharon, for bringing it up, Karen, for reminding us, and you, Zoma, for what you just said. I think when you come to recognize that that's a lawyer thing, the lawyers tell them to do that, bait them into an argument and tape them. So then you recognize that, you impersonalize it because you know it's coming from the lawyer and that this is just part of their shtick to see, to think that they can get an upper hand or whatever have you. And then you forgive it because you recognize it's fear. It's all fear, one ego, right? So we know that the ego is self-preservation. That's the whole problem. The ego is trying to preserve itself. So when you see it so simply that all that is someone fearful trying to protect themselves to get an upper hand because they're threatened that you're going to win in a divorce situation. I mean, you really have to laugh at it. When you're going through it, it is not funny. But absolutely, that's the point that we come to. And that's what everything, before us is that gift because it's always showing us the same thing. If we think a brother did something, we're asked to forgive. Jesus tells us, true forgiveness is recognizing what your brother did not occur. So how do we remedy that? We recognize that the only way we're going to see that is if we forgive it, if we're willing not to judge it, and just to let it go. I mean, but that's a lawyer thing. That I'll tell you that right now. And it really, I've heard this again and again from so many people. Thanks.
Thank you. Fear. we forget, I forget, we forget that fear is not real, that it's something that I'm making up. It's me thinking that I'm separate from my source. It's me thinking that there is a win-lose situation. That's the problem. The problem is I want you to lose because I want to win. I want to make myself look bigger. I want to make myself look better. I want to make you look bad in someone else's eyes because you look bad in my eyes. And the fact is that it's my eyes that's doing the looking. It's not you. It's not you that's looking bad. It's me looking at you badly. It's me looking badly. It's me looking through the different lens, me looking through the wrong lens, me looking through a place of separation, me thinking that that there can be no peace. Me thinking you have to lose, and why do I think that that's going to make me better? Why do I think that because that you being that that because I'm taller than a child, that suddenly I'm just the tallest thing on the planet, with all my 5 feet, right? I think I'm the tallest thing out here because I'm standing next to a child and I'm so tall. I think because I'm the elder that I'm supposed to. Well, I think because I'm whatever. Because I'm the human. That I rule this dog. No, this dog rules me. Let's be clear. But you know that's the mistake. I don't know, Gloria, if your hand is still up, and if it is, go ahead, and then Karen.
Yeah, actually, I just want to say this quickly. That's the whole idea. Of course, my attorney suggested that I do that. And Karen always says it was good that you had the course going through the divorce. And in that case, it was, Karen, because I would not do it. I was like, I am not stooping to that. I will not do it. And I think that, through the course, we recognize, am I going to be under the authority of the ego, or am I going to place my life under the authority of the Christ? So that's the choice that we make. We don't have to do these things. And that's the real recognition there that, I'm going to choose peace instead of this. So I just wanted to share that because, it could be any other thing, even doctors, whatever. We don't have to do it. We don't have to buy into what the American Medical Association is telling us. So anyway, thanks.
I can choose peace instead of this. I'm never upset for the reason I think. I'm upset because I'm thinking. I need to stop thinking. I just let God lead the way. Go ahead, Karen.
That's it, Zulma. I have to stop thinking. Thank you, and thank you, Gloria, and thank you so much. What came to me from after my experience I went through the same experience Glorian went through, except for I didn't have the course at the time. So it was vicious, suspicious. It was suspicious at best and vicious at worst. It was really bad. I learned a lot from it, and I learned exactly what Glorian said. It doesn't have to be that way. It never has to be that way. I also learned from the situation with my daughter, and that I do forgive it now, and I am able to see love where I call for love. And that's my whole deal, and that's what the Holy Spirit's perception is, only seeing every single behavior as love where I call for love. So that is the answer. It's the one problem. It comes right back to the one problem, the belief that we could be separate from God. And the one answer is accepting the atonement for myself. So when we transfer that training into every situation, like Glorian said, it doesn't have to be that way. That goes for every situation, to see that it is only love where I call for love. It does make life so much easier. And I could see peace instead of this, and I can see peace instead of this. And above all else, I want to see peace instead of this. So that is the learning from that. So they are all lessons that we're here to learn. They're all perfectly planned to teach us the lessons we came to learn. So I am actually grateful for those lessons. Thank you.
There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. I yeah, that's an expression of love, or it's a call for love. And if we, yeah, Regis, that was me singing. Thank you, lover. Thank you, brother. How you doing? Good to see your face, Regis. Good to see you. What's your background? I want to know. Anyway, um, yeah, it's always an expression of love or a call for love. We call calls for love other things. We call it anger, we call it fear, we call it, whatever, we jealousy, we call it all kinds of stuff. And the other day I was thinking about that very thing and I thought, I have to remember that when I think that you're calling for love, it may very well be, it usually is, my own call for love, because that means that I'm judging you. I'm passing judgment. Hi, Rick, good to see you. That means I'm judging you. So that whole me versus you thing. Oh, look at that. Look at how they. Oh my God, they should. Mhm, mhm. I have to remember if I'm really here only to be truly helpful, that means I'm being truly helpful, not just to you. I have to be truly helpful to me first, because it all begins with me. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Be the love, teach only love, because that is what you are. I am today teaching love because that is what I am. That's where I am. That's where I'm staying. That's it. What you say, Lynn? Put that in your peace pipe and smoke it. Remembering that every response we make is determined by what we think we are. And with that, Lynn, here's the mic.
Thank you so much, Zulma.